Good morning, folks. I want to talk a little bit. I want to expand on that, what I'm calling the spiritual golden egg from the spiritual golden goose that I received the other day. This little nugget, this little egg, this golden egg of where we come to the point where we don't get mad at our partner, our ex-partners, because of the way they react or their actions towards us because of something we've done based off of what happened to them in the past, the trauma they've experienced, the hurt they've experienced, the abuse they've experienced. I am just blown away. It's a simple concept, and I've never even thought about it. But I wrote down, instances from my twin flame relationship, because that's where spirit is leading me. Is that relationship, and of where things could be perceived as something that they weren't, that there were actual actions that were done by, say, myself or the other person that were legitimately on me or legitimately on her, and the other person, they didn't perceive, their perception was correct, basically. I'll give an example or two. It's going to be a rather long video here, because there's a lot to unpack here. This is going to be probably one of my most vulnerable videos I've ever created. I'm going to have to put it on here on YouTube because it's so long. And I don't want to make a part two. I just want to keep going. Look, I've done this video I don't know how many times so far, and I've had to start over because it's so long and it's being long. I want to help people. I want people to learn this valuable tool, I feel, and learn from what I have learned, so that if you're in a similar situation, something maybe kind of close to it, and you can learn from my mistakes and you don't go through what I'm going through. Because now, after really getting help from spirit with this, taking the time to write down this stuff, taking the time to really chew on this for the past 2 days now, I am very ashamed of myself. I am feeling very guilty for my actions. And I don't know what to do or what to say, other than I'm sorry. I mean, that's the only thing I can say at this point. That I just, here's the thing, we things happen in a relationship, and we really fail to realize that it's because of the stuff that went on in our past. And that stuff needs to be talked about. We need to, as couples, talk about these things. We've got to learn communication, folks. Say your partner tells you, I don't want to talk about it. We're never going to talk about it. Don't ask me about it. Well, when I started thinking about that, and Spirit came in, and Spirit's like, that they're actually saying they want to talk about it with you. The problem is there's stuff that's keeping them from talking about it. So I really started kind of focusing on what could keep someone from not talking about this. Is it that they're ashamed? Is it guilt? Is it just that traumatic? Is it just that bad? I mean, just what could it be? And it could be any of those things, of course. I'll say for what with she and I believe is with majority of the people, is that we get in a relationship, and what happens is we're broken, we're hurt, we've got a lot of baggage we're bringing in, and when we do that, we're both coming in with walls, our own set of walls. And no matter what we tell each other, those walls are there between us. We can start chipping them away, but in some instances, both people, maybe one's been hurt worse than the other, maybe one's been traumatized worse than the other, abused worse than the other, their walls are harder to come down. Maybe their walls never come down, but the walls are there. That's the first thing hampering communication. The second thing hampering communication is to get to the ultimate key for you to start talking about these things is when these walls are here, if the walls are there and they're still there, you're breaking them down slowly. The reason they're slowly coming down or they're not coming down at all is simple. You don't trust each other. Here's the trust circle. Trust circle, basically. You don't fully trust each other. If you ultimately don't trust each other, you can't bring these walls down, and you can't trust each other, the one key thing you need in order to start talking about the really deep stuff that needs to be talked about, needs to be addressed, that your partner needs to know about, your partner needs to help you to deal with, you don't feel safe. If you don't trust somebody and you've already got walls built up there that you can't let go, you can't let them, there's when they sway, you sway deal, then you can't do anything. You can't have any kind of conversation, any kind of communication, really meaningful communication. If I don't trust you, I'm not going to tell you the things that I feel you need to know. I'm not going to let you in. Thus the walls. I don't trust you, so therefore I can't let you in. Because you're not safe. You haven't proven to me that you're safe. In the almost 4 years that she and I were together, we never fully let each other in. We never did. There were trust issues on both our parts, and we neither one fully felt safe with each other. So therefore, we couldn't talk about those things that needed to be talked about on both our parts. And as a result of that, that's when the spiritual egg needs to be used, because that's when things like lies that you didn't even realize you're telling. She told me all along from the start, please don't lie to me. I lied one time. It stands out like a sore thumb. I lied on something. The lie was to protect her. Legitimately protect her. I never could understand why she couldn't grasp that concept. And then it came to me. Maybe she did grasp the concept. But at the end of the day, what did you do? It makes no difference what you did. Your reason for telling the lie to her face, several times. At the end of the day, what is it? It's a lie. People in her past have lied to her that have hurt her. And now then she's asked you not to do that. So now then you have now damaged the trust. Because, and if you're damaging the trust, you're proving you're not safe. It's another brick in the wall, as Pink Floyd would say. And you're proving yourself to be just like the other people. What I didn't realize is this, and it came to me, and I didn't catch it. And I don't understand how I didn't catch it. Maybe you wouldn't catch this either. When I would shutting down was an issue. I could see where that could be an issue. People in her past who hurt her shut down. Maybe they were angry. Maybe they were plotting things. Who knows why they shut down? Either way, they shut down, they lied. That's 2 strikes right there. It's 2 things. 2 things that I've done that is proving me to be just like those people. I shut down. She comes and asks me, "Are you okay?" "Yeah." Come later, "Are you sure you're okay?" "Yeah." Maybe ask me again. The next day, this turned into a couple weeks of this. What happens when she asks you, or he asks you, "Are you okay?" when you shut down, and you say, "Yeah"? What are you doing? At the end of the day, what are you doing when you say, "Yeah, I'm good, I'm okay"? You're lying. Something has driven you to the point that you are shutting down. Something is not right. You are shutting down for a reason. You're not good. You're not. Be honest with yourself and admit that you're not good. So when you tell somebody, "Yeah, I'm good," you're not. You're shutting down. That's not good. That's not good. So when you say you're good, that's a lie. She's asked me to not lie to her. What am I doing? I am continuously lying several times throughout the day, the next day, into a week or more. I'm doing this almost on a daily basis. Every time she asks me, "Am I okay?" I could get even snippy maybe when she asked me. I could get abrasive. I could get aggravated. I could get angry maybe. All of that are things that can trigger her, trigger your partner, your ex-partner, trigger you. Because that's what people in your past have done. And now then you are doing that. You are confirming with your actions to her, based off what people who hurt her done, that you are just like them. You're going to hurt them. I didn't get that back then. I didn't get that at all. I didn't. I can totally see where giving gifts and all that can be totally looked at after everything I'm looking at, can totally be seen as me love bombing, especially at the end. And that's, I believe, really where it came in at. It didn't necessarily come in the beginning. It came in the end. The questions. Like that. I can look down this list of things I have wrote down and see where she perceives something is wrong. I perceive something is wrong. My God, the kids. You know, I looked back and I thought, and I've got it wrote down here, picking with one particular child. I picked with that child and joked and picked on that child. And I can totally see now where that could be perceived as me being a bully to that child, to the sibling, to her, to all of them. There was no male figure there with them. So they're not used to the picking like that. It's not meant to be bullying, it's just picking. Big kid picking, you know, not bullying. It's not meant to be that. It's playing. It's playful banter, you know, fully expecting to be picked back at, you know, type of a deal. But if you've never had that happen, you never had that experience in your life, you don't know. So therefore, this is going on. The children in her, all of them can perceive the joking as me bullying. I'm already coming across as a bully because I'm threatening to, or volunteering to go and deal with problem that one of the children had, and any means necessary type of deal. That's not who I am. When I heard myself saying these things, I am like, what are you doing? Get this damn costume you're wearing off, because it's not you. She knows it's not you, but she also knows now Something is off with you. Something is not right. This is not his usual behavior. This is Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. And this has come on quickly, very quickly. Where was this at and what is going on? Now that I'm picking on the kid, I'm playing around. This is bullying. We went from he's going to go and do things to other people in the honor of my child. It's not him. Now he's over here picking on my kid, and that's bullying. That's Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, rapid Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. What the hell's going on? This is stuff that people over here in the past have done to hurt me, to hurt my kids, to traumatize us, to abuse us. This is not good. He's lying. He's shutting down. He's now being a bully. This is not him. This is not who I fell in love with. There was other instances with the kids, things that did happen, and the kids could totally see as something that they've never maybe experienced before. Especially the older of the two, the giving of the gifts definitely could be seen as manipulation, love bombing, when it wasn't. For the almost 4 years we were together, the kids didn't know about me until really the latter part of the relationship. So they didn't know really how I was, who I was. They'd never been around me. So, and that was an issue for me. I wasn't introduced to the kids. I felt like I was an alien. I felt like I was, I felt like I was not worthy enough to meet the children. I wasn't good enough to meet the children. That, she sees me as all these things, because that's the way I was seen by the people in the past. And what happens when these kind of things happen? You start to build up feelings, hurtful feelings towards your partner, your ex-partner, because your horrible feelings you're feeling as a result of their actions and reactions based off what happened to you in the past. It is now building on you. Those feelings of not worthy, that all that stuff is now building, and now you start to maybe build a resentment towards that person. It's not fair that you're doing that, but because of what's happened, you're doing that. I'm telling you, I was blown away by this stuff, of just taking the time to look at this. And you can do it with all your relationships. Any of your relationships you could do this in. And I think it's a valuable tool to do this, especially in your current relationship. If you're in a current relationship, I think it's a valuable thing to do this, because you can sit down and really dissect everything. Dissect your last argument, disagreement, spat, fight, the last couple, and really sit down and look at it, and then put yourself in their shoes, look from a higher spiritual perspective, and then you can see, I definitely see where they could take that as this, based off what they've told me about their past relationships, the way they were treated as a child. I definitely can see where I could come across that way, or be seen as that way. I really need to talk to her or him, and let them know that I'm sorry, that wasn't what I was trying to do. I can also see where this could be a problem, in the fact that you could spend a lot of time apologizing because of what people have done in the past. And, some people really have had some damage done. And I could see where you could probably end up spending a lot of time apologizing for stuff because of what they've done. So I think that if that were going to be the case, you definitely want to sit down with your partner and say, look, we both need to agree that this has happened to you in the past. Things have happened to you in the past. I think it would probably be best that if we just understand that, and that we don't keep apologizing all the time for this stuff. That we just, when it happens, maybe we just do a little signal or something to let the other one know that I'm acknowledging that I've done something that possibly could be taken the wrong way, taken out of context, perceived as wrong, and I acknowledge it. I just want to, that way you know that I know. Maybe something like that. There again, that's communicating. Nothing can get done if nobody communicates. Nothing gets accomplished if everybody keeps running away, or one person runs away. One person shuts down. Both people shut down. Nothing gets worked on. Nothing gets fixed. So I'm seeing all this stuff, and I'm going through it, and I am just blown away, but yet also extremely sick about it. That this has happened to all of us. And then I'm really, really coming to some serious conclusions. As a result of all this, we had outside influences going on. We were all of us that were here were influenced at some point or another by stuff that was going on here. And it really got to the point where, because of what has happened, we've got the influence going on, where just, she's running her head off. She's running. And, she's doing for the kids. She's doing for her, trying to get her business off the ground. She's going to physical therapy, going to the store, doing for me. I had the surgery for my neck, for my spine. I can't drive. I can't pick up on things. She's doing for all of us. And really, at the end of the day, I did what I could. But at the end of the day, none of us, if we're being really, really honest and real talk here, none of us really did acknowledge that. None of us really said, hey, I appreciate everything you're doing. None of us did. She carried a load that she shouldn't have carried, but she did. And I tried, I did some things to try to help. But like laundry, I would want to do her laundry. I would put her laundry in the washer and maybe in the dryer even, and try to fold it. Problem is that she's independent. This is a long time. She's been by herself for a long time, her and the kids, and she's got her way of doing things. And so I wasn't doing it her way. I didn't catch on to her way of doing it. I thought it was weird, and could see there where me thinking it was weird and kind of picking a little bit could be interpreted as something someone had done in the past, that they are maybe doing some form of gaslighting, some form of something like that, and that can be triggering and traumatic. So we come to that point, but the main thing I got out of it was we were already having issues with control, where she felt I was trying to take all the control, to be in total control. It wasn't that, it's my autism. And I'm not making excuses. It was my autism. And I've made videos, tons of videos, and talked about that. And I could totally see where me doing her laundry, that personal type of an issue of laundry, at the end of the day, that is a very personal thing for some people. You're dealing with your undergarments and your clothes. That's kind of personal. I'm doing that. I'm moving in doing that, and I'm trying to do it my way, making fun of her way, And that can be seen as me trying to take control over that, trying to be in total control over something personal to her. I totally can get that now. Totally could. So as I said, this is a very valuable tool. For us, time was going on, and we're dealing with all this stuff, and it finally reaches the crescendo of, I say you and one of the children was moving out to get their own place. I said, maybe you and the other child need to move in with that child for a little bit to get rid of this problem. Here's the thing with that. The problem, the spiritual problem, could have been dealt with had we used the egg to deal with these other issues. Had we realized that this was going on, then we could have gotten on the same page to deal with this, and they wouldn't have had to have left. I believe that now, totally. But we didn't do that. We didn't know. Not to mention the damage was done. She said, the deal was she'd go back until we got rid of this, is what I said. It ended up kind of morphing into, I'm coming back when I feel it's safe. I didn't hear that. What I heard was, back here, behind me, I hear, from my past, I hear, I need some space. When I get this stuff worked out, I'll be back. You didn't come back. You lied to my face. You abandoned me and you hurt me. I'll be back when I feel it's safe. You're lying to me. You're going to abandon me. You're going to hurt me. What you're saying is no different than what I've heard in the past and what happened there. You're going to do the same thing. I couldn't get past it. I couldn't take her at her word. She's never lied to me, never given any kind of indication that she would ever lie to me. And yet, I couldn't take that at face value. I couldn't do that. Couldn't do that. And what ends up happening is that because of everything, all of it, she now thinks that the stuff that's going on, because of the spiritual stuff going on, it is not because of that. There's a question mark there of, he's doing that. He's doing these things. He is the one responsible for this. He's fighting me he's not appearing to be interested in trying to get rid of this. He's fighting me with every ounce of his being to not want to do what I'm suggesting. He gets aggravated. He gets mad about it. He's not listening. This is him doing this. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, warp speed. This is happening. Whoosh. Blink of an eye, this is all going on. All these things she's seeing. Because she's making a case in her mental notebook. I'm making a case in my mental notebook. Kids are doing the same. I'm not protecting her. People in the past didn't protect her. I'm doing exactly what they did. I'm not protecting her. I'm not protecting the kids. I'm not fighting for her. I'm not fighting for the kids. I am the one causing the problem. It ends up building to the point that, with Spirit's help, I gather that she is now absolutely terrified of me. I have now proven to her without a shadow of a doubt that I am fully capable, more than capable, of doing what these other people have. Problem is, I am now, in her mind, capable of all that they did and more. Because Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde at warp speed is showing indications that she's never seen before, feeling the way she felt about me, allowing me in as deep as she did. I'm out for one thing. I'm out to sleep with her, and I'm not safe. So now that I have to go to extreme measures to be safe. Sometimes some people, maybe you in a relationship and your partner, your ex, felt that you were so unsafe, they had to get a restraining order against you. They had to move to a new city. They had to go no contact. They had to do whatever means they had to do to feel safe from you as a result of you. In this case, it turned into an order of protection. Now then, she feels safe. I can't talk to her. I can't be around her until next year, September 25th of next year, 363 or 63 days from now. And I don't understand this. This is out of character for her. This is not something that the woman that I love, fell in love with, would do to me. She's trying to deliberately hurt me. She used me. She lied to me. She abandoned me. She hurt me. All this stuff from the past. All what she's feeling in me from the past. The only other problem with it is that I have added to it. I've added stuff to all of what she's dealt with in the past. And now then there's a new level to this fear, this terror, this absolute terror. There's a new level for me of hurt, of now resentment. From the start, I understood there was an absolute reason for her doing what she did. I defended that, still defend it today, that there was a reason that we didn't understand why she did what she did, but she did for a legitimate reason. I get it now. I know the reason. And so she's safe. Don't know where she's at. Got an idea, but don't know fully where she's at. I'm still here. And then the pissing contest happens. I'm hurt. Now we're going to hurt each other still. Because now we can hurt each other. Boom, rams. We're going to ram each other in the head. Boom, boom. Pissing contest. That kind of started before all this, the moving out and all anyway. Pissing contest. Button heads. So we've got that going on. We're attacking each other. We're using memes and posts to hurt each other. There was horrible things insinuated, things that really hurt to this day when I think about them. I didn't initially attack. I didn't. I'm not going to say I'm not defending myself here by saying that or trying to make myself look better or anything. I just didn't. I had a mental breakdown. I'm focusing on that. I'm posting things about mental health, trying to help other people because that's what I want to do. I want to honor the lady, the therapist, my therapist who helped me so much, that means so much to me. And I want to honor her by paying her back by helping other people through the mental health stuff. I can see where some of the things, maybe a big part of the things I reposted that I found could be interpreted as jabs at her and could be taken as serious jabs at her when they weren't. I didn't post anything in the beginning about narcissism and gaslighting and love bombing. I didn't do any of that at first. I was posting other things. And I can totally see where now those things could be interpreted as attacks when they weren't meant to be that. They weren't. They were meant for other people in my past. But I could totally see where, with the freshness of the wounds of what has happened, they could be interpreted that way. I could see where some of the things that was posted on this end was not about me. I can totally see where things were about me, were insinuated about me, and they hurt deeply. And it continued, it continued, it continued. And I'm still putting my stuff out there, not knowing that what I'm putting out there is triggering her. I'm attacking her at a distance. For in her mind, everything she slings, I'm slinging 2 or 3 more at her when I wasn't what I was doing. Until it became, I was doing what I was doing. The insinuations of me being something that I could not be, medically cannot be. And it's constantly being put out there. I'm taking it as an attack. I fail to understand. She wrote a book. She's promoting the book. She's trying to get sales. She's trying to promote herself for her business, for what she does. The things she's posting, a lot of it, majority of it, I'm personalizing. As my therapist said, boy, you're jumping into the deep end of the personalization pool, aren't you? Your name's not on it. You can't own it. Oh, it does say X, for sure. You're showing me that. That says X. You're right. That does. Is your name X? Your name is Eddie. Starts with an E. That's an X. Starts with an E. But, yeah, you're jumping in that personalization pool way in the deep end, aren't you? She was right. She was right. But I can totally see where those things were to promote her product. I couldn't do that at the time. I'm being attacked. So now then it gets to the point where I have now had enough. And I start attacking back. And it's hurting me because I'm not like that. But I feel I have no other choice. I feel like I'm backed in a corner. I'm constantly defending myself. I feel like I'm doing all that I can. I'm lost. I don't know what to do. I can't talk to her. We can't work this out. All indications are she doesn't even want to work it out. So I finally stopped attacking. And I'm like, this is bullshit. I quit. I give up. You win. You win. I'm done. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of fooling with it. I'm done. As a twin flame, you feel what your twin is feeling. They feel what you're feeling. We felt each other's anger. We felt each other's hurt. I felt it. But then I just started shutting it off. Ignoring it, pushing it away. Because I didn't want any of it anymore. The indications are this is dead in the water. I'm done. What happens? This relationship comes in. 4 months. First month we're together. We're engaged. Close to 4 years over here. I fought more to keep this going than I ever fought to keep this going in her eyes. He's engaged. He moved on. He didn't love me. He didn't fight for me. He didn't fight for this relationship. He didn't fight for my kids. He did not see me worthy enough to fight. He did not see my value. He wanted to basically just sleep with me. He did not love me. I am not worthy of love. All of that stuff. I didn't realize, not only did I bring her to the point that, help bring her to the point that she's terrified of me, that she won't even sleep under the covers in the bed with me. She's sleeping on top of those covers that I'm under and covering herself up with separate covers and almost damn near sleeping in street clothes. Spirit is the one to reveal that to me. I asked her about it, and she told me this is how she always slept, and I took her at face value with it. And Spirit, when I was going over all that, Spirit brought that to my attention. You know, this kind of shows you that she's terrified of you. And so she never fully unpacked, Spirit's saying. The kids never fully unpacked. The thing is not only does she feel all this stuff because of what you've done and what you've shown her, what she's perceived, because doing what I did was not to hurt her. I felt the connection. I thought it was a soulmate. It wasn't until yesterday that I realized that this was a karmic relationship. This was doomed from the start. I have to believe she was more in tune with my feelings, and still probably is. I'm getting there though, getting back there. I think she's more in tune to my feelings, my emotions still than I was of hers. I know she had to feel what I was going through over there. I know she did. There was constant turmoil there, just chaos. And I put up with it. I wanted it to. I was going to make it work, determined to make it work and fight for it. And she felt that. And she saw it from the video. And it hurt her badly, devastated her. How could he do that to me? I never said we were broken up. I said it'd come back when I feel safe. The court papers doesn't say anything about us broken up. The court papers say a current romantic partner or an ex-romantic partner. Nothing's circled. It just says that is accused of this, this, and this, or how it's worded. Nowhere does it say ex. Yeah, she's posted things that says ex, my ex, whatever. There were things posted like that, but they were done in anger. Just because I post something that says my ex doesn't mean that that's what it is. If I put that my ex is a ham sandwich, does that mean that my ex is literally a ham sandwich? My ex is a loser. Is my ex really a loser? Or is that my perception? Do you get where I'm coming at? You get where I'm coming from? Not only have I absolutely hurt her beyond hurt, devastated her, broken her, worse than anybody's ever broken her yet, because she still loved me. Spirit saying all along, and it said since day one, time is your friend, patience. Time is your friend, patience. Not only is all this going on, and they've never unpacked their bags the whole time fully that they're here. You know why? Spirit told me this, and when I was told this, and it came through, I literally fell off the sofa and got to my knees and begged for forgiveness. I never made them feel like they were welcome. They never felt like they were welcome here in this house. From day one. And that was never, ever the case. Never the case. I wanted nothing more for the 4 years that we were together to move in together, to be a family. And to know that that's how they felt. And to know that I set nuclear bomb off in her. And I've been saying all along, she set nuclear bomb off in me. But now I've done it to her. I've set off something in her that is even more devastating than a nuclear bomb. All the healing work she's done, continues to do, I took that from her. As a result of what other people have done in the past to both of us. This is what's transpired. Folks, this spiritual egg that I was given is so important. You have no idea. No idea. So what happens next? Why? I ask why. I've been asking all along this 4 months. Why is it that I'm getting angel numbers every day, multiple times a day? Why is it I'm getting animal signs all the time? Why am I getting all kind of other messages? Why is she vivid dream smelling her, seeing her, hearing her, feeling her physically with me at night, though, in the early morning hours in the night? Her name. Why is this? Ed, my spirit guide, you weren't supposed to be over here permanently. This is a lesson. This is a lesson because you weren't getting the other lessons. At the end of the day, something that's bothered me as a twin flame for the longest time, and I've asked myself numerous times, am I the divine masculine, am I the divine feminine? My mind, she's the one ran. She's the one left here. She's the one broke up with me the last time. I broke up the first time. She's done it twice. She's ran. She's the divine masculine. That's the divine masculine does. She's, in all appearances, she's broke up this time and she's out there living it up, being successful with work and everything. She's divine masculine. I'm over here doing the work, the inner work, the shadow work. I'm the one going to therapy. I'm the one doing all this stuff to try to save this relationship. When in actuality, that wasn't the case. I wasn't trying to save the relationship. I am the divine masculine. I ran. I didn't run the second time. I ran the first time because I got my butt hurt because I thought she was lying to me about stuff. We weren't even really officially dating. I thought she was lying to me, so I got out of there before she could hurt me. Knowing, though, all along that we'd be back together. We'd be together all for the rest of our lives. I knew it then. And we got back together. And she had personal stuff going on, and she broke up with me. She didn't want me to. She did it unselfishly. I don't want you to wait around for me to fix my stuff. Fix me. What I'm doing. I need you to move on. I need you to move on. And I accepted it, but I knew then we'd be back together. I knew it would take time. We would be. I ran. I didn't go nowhere, but I still ran. I had stuff going on in my head, stuff going on around here. Digit surgery. I was overwhelmed. We're mirroring each other. I'm feeling that I'm being emasculated every day. I'm feeling like I'm not being heard. I'm not being appreciated. I'm not getting this, I'm not getting that. And it wasn't about sex. It was that I wasn't getting, just hugged. I wasn't getting held. I wasn't getting anything, kissed or anything. I wasn't getting the things that I needed and I wanted. And I just felt disrespected. I felt numerous things. And so what did I do? I got overwhelmed and I ran. I shut down. She did. She never did. All this time that's gone by, she never shut down. I did. I'm the one ran looking to see if the theory of my soul won't allow me to date anyone else. I'm the one went and started looking at dating sites. I'm the one joined dating sites. She didn't do that. I'm the one went out and tried to test those waters because I wasn't going to be alone for the rest of my life. I was going to find someone else. Is that what I ultimately wanted? No. It was like I couldn't help myself with it though. That I had to do that. Like I have to go and do this. And I don't understand that. I never did understand that. You know, it wasn't that I wanted to, but it was like this compulsion that I had to do it. I had to do it. I also know that there's an underlying thing there, and I don't know that I ever told her that, but if you got a family member telling you something like this, you need to step away from that family member, or really have a talk with them, or really set some boundaries. I've been told for the longest time, and even a couple weeks ago, really, that was told to me. No woman in her right mind is going to want to be with you. No woman in her right mind is going to be with somebody who's on disability, who looks like you do. No teeth, your teeth are rotted. No money, no savings account, no job, no future. Look at you. What woman in her right mind is going to want to be with someone like you? Well, after the sting, every time that being said settles, then an anger kicks in. I'm going to prove you wrong. So this happens. No woman in her right mind is going to want to be with you. So I'm going into every relationship I've ever went into, except my marriage. Post-marriage, we'll say, every relationship. No woman will ever want to be with you because of this, and this. I'm not good enough to be with a woman. I'm not worthy enough to be with a woman. I carried that into this relationship from the start. In my mind, she's left. She's the reason for all this. So what has to happen? I now have to prove that I can find somebody else. Not to hurt her, but to prove this other person wrong. If it wasn't for this special spiritual egg, I would not have been able to work through this to figure this out. And to be able to say, that's fucked up, which I knew that all along, but to say that as a result of that, I hurt her badly. She did not deserve that. That person should never have put that on me to begin with. But as a result of that, their ignorance, I hurt her extremely badly. Every time, look, I know with everything in me. She knew before I even said anything about looking. She knew that I was. She could probably feel me like slipping away. Her connection to me has always been more strong. Has been stronger. Should have been first sign all along, divine feminine. Spiritual leader of this spiritual relationship. That feeling, that understanding is spiritual. She's the spiritual leader. She, of course, would feel the connection deeper than the divine masculine. He's pretty well running anyway. She's doing the work. She's doing the connections. She's doing the spiritual stuff. What did I end up doing when I got involved here and a little before that? I quit doing spiritual stuff. I stopped journaling, only doing it periodically. I stopped watching spiritual videos. Now, with this karmic, though, there was a spiritual awakening. There was a pull back to Jesus, to Holy Spirit, through a non-denominational church, which was amazing. I had a wonderful time there. I'm watching it on YouTube. I will not go back there, though, unfortunately, because I don't want to run into her possibly being there. So I lost that as well. And that's okay. It's on YouTube. I've got the app for the church. I can watch it there, so it's okay. You know, I was doing that anyway for years during my separation and divorce and then moving forward. So it's okay. But there was a spiritual awakening there, and that was another reason I thought this is a soulmate. So all of that stuff, that was going on, Spirit's like, this is a lesson. Because now what's happened is you've reached, as you say, absolute rock bottom. To me, when you reach rock bottom, there's handholds still to get you out of there. Still a pretty noticeable way to get out of the hole. Absolute rock bottom is when you have reached the absolute bottom of the pit. The walls are smooth and they're wet and slippery, and now you got to figure out what to do. You got no choice but to sit there and really ponder it and think about, what do I need to do now? What do I need to do moving forward? What do I want going forward? What have I wanted all along? What is it? What is my next move? Where do I go from here? And then I get to thinking, what about the vivid dreams? What about the feeling her energetically holding my hand at night sometimes? Feeling her like touch my chin or cheek, touch my neck. I know her touch. I know it. I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like. It's a touch like I've never felt before from anybody. It's not sexual. It's a very unique thing. It's an energetic feeling, and when you feel it with your twin flame, you know it. You just know it. And then I'm getting this. I'm like, that's her. She astral projects all the time. She's always astral projecting, according to her. And she's never lied to me, so I take that as word, and always did, and thought it was amazing. Even though she's hurt, and I've hurt her, and I'm involved with this person, I'm engaged with this person, she's still fighting. And I don't care if you think this is crazy or not, she's fighting on a spiritual level as the divine feminine of this relationship, fighting on the spiritual planes. She's astral projecting into my dreams. She's astral projecting herself here, letting me know she's still with me. And I asked Ed about it. I said, is this what's going on? And he smiled, and he said, exactly what's going on. Exactly what's going on. And I cried. After all of it that I put her through, put her kids through, put myself through, put my family through, put her family through maybe, put her friends through maybe, people she's talked to. All of that. And she never gave up, but I did. I never saw myself worthy of her from the start. I never did. I never did. I always was waiting for the other shoe to fall. I never did. But she never saw me any other way but worthy of her. And then in the end, what happens? I don't fight for her. I give up. I hurt her. I make her feel like she's not worthy. She's not worthy of my love, my attention, my affection. Her kids aren't worthy of my fight, my love, my affection, my attention. The guilt I feel right now is overwhelming. I am absolutely sick to my stomach. I want to throw up. I felt this way pretty much all day. Well, all day yesterday. I never knew. I didn't know. I let other people get in my ear. Other people started telling me, all these signs and symbols you're getting, you were beginning to really sound. When I finally gave up, and I told people I gave up, you were really starting to sound kind of like you were really going over the deep end, kind of insane, like with all that stuff. It was really kind of sounding like you were just a bunch of insanity. And you were just grasping at straws. And it really aggravated the piss out of me. I'm like, I've been saying all along, I've given you titles of videos on YouTube here. Watch a video, learn, do the research. This is legit. Twin flames are legit. Do the research. Trust me, I've been doing the research at that point for all that time. Do the damn research. Watch one video on signs and synchronicities. Watch a video and you'll see that what I was going through and experiencing was legit. I slipped up today and told somebody about the signs and the symbols, and I could hear and I could just feel it as well. Oh shit, here he goes again. Because this was the person who said what I just told you. And I felt it like, oh, here he goes again. Oh shit. So I had to be very careful, as usual, what I talk about. With people, as far as things, spiritual things and all. I did such an injustice to our relationship, to her kids, to her spiritual family as well. I did such an injustice to them. I did not believe her when she told me she was looking into getting help for what was going on here. I absolutely did not believe her, especially when I felt she wasn't coming back. She lied to me. That it was just told to me to just pacify me, cover her tracks, so to say. And I unfairly did not give her the benefit of the doubt. Just as I know on a lot of things, I wasn't given the benefit of the doubt. Oh, Eddie, you just saying this because this over here ended. Now you want to bounce back over here. No. The whole time that I was with this one, I'm going in the closet in my office and I'm looking at her pictures and I'm crying and saying, I'm sorry I hurt you. I know on some level this is not really what I ultimately want, but you don't want to be with me. So this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm checking social media. I'm all these things, the reminders. I'm holding tight to the things that she's given me. I'm sitting around and reminiscing about the good times. Hurricane hits. I'm not worried about me. I'm not worried about my family. My thoughts and my prayers and concerns was with her and her children. Her other children that are not with her, living with her. And her child and that child's partner and that partner's family. That's where my concern was. That's where my fears were. something happens, I can't do anything to help. I can't do anything. You have no idea what that fear feels like. It's up there with the fear of what happened over here, where I'm left in an emergency room parking lot just praying that I don't have an ambulance pull up and somebody come knock on my window saying this person's gone. I did some tall praying during that hurricane that they'd be okay. I would not have bounced back over here to be with her when we weren't together. If I were going to bounce anywhere else, I would bounce to another relationship where I could go and do things with this person. I could spend time with them, versus nothing over here. So no, it's not me bouncing back over here, if that's what any of you are thinking, bouncing back over here because this didn't work. This never worked from the beginning. If I'm being honest and real with you, it didn't. Took me a while to really come to terms with that. So no, I didn't bounce. I'm not a bouncer. So what happens next? I don't know. I don't know what happens here. All I can tell you is I feel things now. I feel connected back to my spiritual family. I feel that pull back to getting back into my spiritual videos on here on YouTube, to meditate again, which I kind of did this afternoon outside. I did night before last when I had a spirit here, and I helped cross him over, and I put a video up about that. Helped cross him over. I feel different. I'm not who I was before. I feel like I was broken to the point that I couldn't be broken anymore. And now I'm starting to be remolded or molded into who I'm supposed to be. It scares me because I don't know that. I said that I don't trust anybody. I don't trust especially women. It was a lie. Even though I never fully let her in and I never fully trusted her, the only person that I have any kind of trust in and have always had since we met any kind of trust in, even right now, is her. Because she never intentionally hurt me. Contrary to what other people say and try to convince me, she never intentionally hurt me. She didn't. End of the day, I never intentionally set out to hurt her. Only person I ever had any kind of trust in, even contrary to what I told people. A lot of times I told people things just to get them off my back, which was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that either. Don't do that. Don't tell people things just to shut them up. Set a boundary with them. That's what boundaries are there for. Set that boundary with them. If they're telling you shit that you don't want to hear, set the boundary. Stand by it. Set it. Stand by it. There's no way I could get what I've gotten, come to this point, if I wasn't being remolded. There's no way I could accept the responsibility of that stuff. I wouldn't be able to. I know the old me. I know. I would have been very angry about that. No way I could have accepted it. And I know that she knows that as well. I wanted to put the blame on her. I'll be real. I wanted to put the blame on her. This is solely your fault. Because you ran, you hurt me, you did this to hurt me. Everything that's happened is your fault. Mirror, everything that's happened is your fault. Everything that happened, not my fault, your fault. And I felt that, and that made that feeling of wanting to blame her for all of it even stronger. And the more stronger I felt about that, the more stronger she felt about putting the blame on me. Both of us were pig-headed. Were being the key word there. Pig-headed enough, strong-willed enough, if you want to say it, to not want to accept blame and responsibility for actual things that we did. I know that. I know that we were, twin flames. Twin flames. Mirroring this, both of us were mirroring each other. We were liking that. I don't know that she would admit that, but I know that's the truth. So this video has been long enough, guys. I have shared things with you all that I hope puts into perspective some things for you, that you can see things that maybe you did not see before, that were going on, it's going on in maybe your current relationship, maybe it's going on in your past relationship, and maybe you want that relationship to work out. And because of what I've told you, you're able to now look back and see these things that was going on in your relationship. And maybe it will give you an opportunity to be able to reach out to your partner, your ex-partner, and say, hey, I really think we should talk. There's some things I like to talk about. And that door gets open for you. That you're able to take this spiritual egg that has been given to me, so lovingly given to me, and you can apply it to all your relationships. That if you are a twin flame, that in your divine masculine, doesn't matter if you're born a male or born a female, you identify as the divine masculine. As a divine masculine who has hurt my divine feminine more than I can even know or even come to grips with. I need you to understand something. Your actions hurt your divine feminine. If she is what you want, truly want, it's time to stop being selfish, because that's what it is. It's selfishness. Yeah, it's fear. Yeah, it's a lot of things, but at the end of the day, it all goes under the umbrella of selfishness. Fear of commitment. Fear of losing your identity. Fear of everything. Fear you're going to live in their shadow. Fear that you are not going to get from them what you want fear that they are never going to make you happy. All these things that you have come up with. Your life's going to be nothing but all this spiritual stuff. We're not going to ever talk about anything else. We're never going to have fun. We're just always going to live in these spiritual aspect of things, and that's what's always going to be. And we won't be able to sit down and watch TV. We won't be able to sit down and watch a movie because it's going to always be spiritual, and that's not what I want. I'm gonna be continually be emasculated, or the opposite. I don't know what the opposite would be. I'm going to continue to be done this way. I'm going to continue to be disrespected. I'm going to be dominated because she's the spiritual leader. She's going to dominate me, try to dominate me, and I'm going to have to be submissive. And I don't want to be submissive. I'm not going to be submissive to a woman. I'm not going to be submissive to a female. I'm not going to be, none of this stuff. All this stuff you've got in your head. Listen, I know you got it in your head, because guess what? Oh, right. Yeah, I'm in the back row. Oh, no, I'm in the front row. I'm waving at you because I've had these things in my head. They've been my things to hold me back. Stop being selfish. Stop. You're not going to get any fulfillment out of anything over here. Meaningless sex, if that's what you're looking for. Connection, if that's what you're looking for. Replacement for your divine feminine, if that's what you're looking for. Whatever it is, you're not going to find it. You're not going to find it. Buck up and do the work that you need to do. Psychological work you need to do to heal your stuff. Psychological stuff you need to heal. Start looking into spiritual things, because you're going to have spiritual stuff in your life. Your life is not going to be filled with spiritual stuff, though. A chunk of it will, but it's not going to be hanging out in a treehouse, smelling incense all day long and chanting and meditating. No. You will have fun. You will have a pretty normal life, I have to think. But there will be spiritual things. You have to be willing to enter into her part of the world, your relationship, your world, which is spiritual. Step up and do that work. Look into that. Stop hurting her. Because at the end of the day, you're hurting her doing these things. You are the reason, ultimately, to not have physical union. Stop blaming it on her. I have blamed that on her all along, when it wasn't her. It's been me. Because of all these things I had up here that I just told you. Stop putting all that stuff on your divine feminine. Stop doing that. They're waiting for you to do what you got to do. They've got this. They've got this picture, just as you've got this picture of them. And the picture doesn't always match up at the end of the day. Because it's an expectation, maybe, it's a good way of looking at it, maybe, that I have this expectation of them, when in actuality, they can't live up to that expectation. You can't live up to their expectation. At the end of the day, even though you're twin flames, you are still two separate people. You have your likes, she has her likes, he has his likes, and vice versa. This is a spiritual relationship, an awakening, spiritual awakening. It's spiritual, but it is made up and based on divine love. It's love, folks. It's love. Stop putting all these labels on each other. Stop putting these expectations on each other. Stop hurting each other and just do what needs to be done so that you can be in physical union together. You're already in spiritual union, so you can be in physical union and you can have the most amazing relationship, physical relationship. Not talking necessarily sexual here. I'm talking about physical. I'm talking about being able to do things, to be able to hang out, to be able to finally maybe be a family if that's what you want, to accept them for who they are, for you to accept them for who they are, flaws and all. Neither of you are perfect. I put her on a pedestal and saw her as flawless when she wasn't. She isn't. Even though all this other stuff happened, I still, end of the day, saw her as perfect. She could do no wrong. That's wrong of me to put that on her. That's wrong of me. That's disrespectful for me to do that. So divine masculines, it's time to stop hurting our divine feminines and do what we need to do so that we can be with them. Bottom line, as much as you want to be with them, you want the things you want from them, all things you want from them, don't you for 1 second think, and I only really came to this conclusion yesterday, everything you want from them, to be able to do things with them, to have fun with them, to have a family with them, to be able to go out with them, to be able to be intimate with them, to do all the things, everything that you want from them, to learn from them, to soak up all the knowledge you can, to maybe teach them some things. Everything you want from them, they want from you. But not until you prove that you are ready and you are worthy of everything they have. Even though they're divine feminine and you're divine masculine, you're twin flames, doesn't mean you're not broken and you need healing. You're going to continue to heal for the rest of your life. You're going to be working on that. You're going to have psychological things you have to work on constantly. You're going to have arguments. You're going to have fights. This is not going to be a situation where you're looking at two, I don't know what, aliens that are just never going to fight or anything. You're going to have that stuff happen. You're human. Just because you're a twin flame does not make you less of a human being. So, yes, do what you gotta do. Step up. Even though they're a spiritual leader, end of the day, bottom line, you want to know what they really kind of want? And this kind of came yesterday as well. They want you to lead. You're the divine masculine. They want you to lead. All the decisions that they have to make, all that stuff, it's not that it's a control issue. They want you to be able to help them with it. They want you to step up and to protect them, to be the masculine, to lead. so that they can do what they have to do and supposed to do. It took me a long time to accept that, to realize that the things I had in my head are not true. They're just things in my head. So please, learn from my mistakes. For God's sakes, learn from my mistakes. Don't hurt your divine feminine like this. The guilt that I feel, the shame that I feel, the pain that I feel for what I've done is unbearable. And I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to get rid of that. I don't. Even if she was standing right here and said, I forgive you, it would not ease that off of me. This is a burden I will carry for the rest of my life. So I pray that this helps you guys. I do. I pray it helps you guys on some level. I do. I absolutely do. So with that said, good night.